Bedbugs are tiny parasites that hide in your bed, crawl out while you're sleeping, and suck your blood without you ever noticing. Most people would burn their house down if they found just one. But today, I found a website that will literally sell you 10 bedbugs. So I bought them. And in this video, I'm going to build them a home track where they choose to hide, and at the end, I'm going to let them feed on my own blood. Yes, this is a terrible idea. Bedbugs are one of the most hated creatures on Earth. They don't sting, they don't poison, they don't make any noise. They just hide, and when you're asleep, they come out, bite you, drink your blood, and disappear again before morning. Most infestations go unnoticed for weeks, which is what makes them so terrifying. So when I decided to go on a mission to find the weirdest possible pet, this felt like the final boss. I found a website selling live bedbugs, 10 of them, for $20. Now, I don't think these were ever meant to be kept as pets, and honestly, I'm not even sure this should be legal, but my curiosity won. I bought them. While they were being shipped, I started building their enclosure. And since there is absolutely no guide on how to keep bedbugs as pets, I had to figure everything out myself. The first step was the floor. I poured a layer of coconut fiber dirt across the enclosure to hold moisture and give them something natural to crawl through, but that wasn't enough. Bedbugs are extremely small, and if they disappeared into dark soil, I would lose track of them instantly. So I added a thin layer of fine white sand on top. This way, I'd be able to see every movement. And more importantly, I'd know if any escaped. Because if even one got loose in my house, I would not be sleeping ever again. Next came the terrain. Bedbugs don't build nests. They don't burrow like ants. They squeeze into tight spaces. Anywhere flat meets flat. Mattresses, bed frames, cracks in the wood. So I added cork bark, spiderwood, and stones, stacking them in a way that created narrow gaps underneath. I even built a small tree-like structure in the corner, covering it in moss, just to see if they preferred natural hiding spots over man-made ones. Then came the artificial test. I built a miniature bed, a real one, fabric, foam core, a little tape holding it together way worse than I want to admit. But the most important part wasn't how it looked. It was how it smelled. Bedbugs are attracted to humans through two main things: our scent and the carbon dioxide we breathe out. So I needed this tiny mattress to smell like me. To achieve this, I lined a towel inside my bike helmet, went on a long ride, and let it soak up as much sweat as possible. When I got back, I squeezed the towel all over the tiny mattress. It was disgusting, but hopefully effective. At this point, the enclosure looked like a strange mix of a forest floor and a dollhouse bedroom. Now came the final experiment: carbon dioxide. Since humans exhale CO, bedbugs are extremely sensitive to it. It's their dinner bell. So I built a DIY emitter using a bottle filled with water, sugar, and yeast. As the yeast reacted with the sugar, it produced a steady stream of carbon dioxide through a tube that I ran into the enclosure. If this worked, the bedbugs should react to it immediately. The enclosure was done. Now it was time for the worst part. The bedbugs arrived. I opened the package very, very slowly, fully aware that if these escaped, my life would be miserable. Just before releasing them, I realized something terrifying. The enclosure didn't have a proper lid, so I quickly escape-proofed it using a special slippery barrier normally used for ants. I rubbed it all along the top edges of the glass so that anything trying to climb out would just slide right back down. Only then did I open the container. I carefully released about half of the bedbugs. Immediately, one sprinted across the sand and vanished under a rock, but another one went straight toward the miniature mattress. Within minutes, more followed. They completely ignored all the natural decorations I had set up. They chose the bed. The sweaty mattress worked. At this point, I had already lost track of a few of them, which is exactly how bedbugs survive in the real world. They don't need speed. They just need invisibility. Bedbugs are nocturnal, so to feed them, I had to wait until night. I brought my mum in to help me film. She was not happy. I explained what they were. She was even less happy. I activated the CO emitter. Within seconds, we saw movement. Tiny orange shapes started emerging from the cracks. They were responding. And then came the moment I'd been dreading this entire time. Feeding them gently transferred for bedbugs into a small, clear container. I rolled up my sleeve, and I tipped them onto my arm. They crawled slowly at first. Then they stopped. One by one, they latched on. The bite itself barely hurt. It was just a small prick. But then they stayed. For 10 minutes. As they fed, their bodies completely changed. They swelled up. They darkened. They turned deep red as they filled with my blood. You could literally see my blood inside their translucent bodies. When a bedbug finishes feeding, it detaches on its own. One by one, they released and began to move again, much slower this time. I collected them carefully and returned them to the enclosure, and that's it. That's how you feed pet bedbugs, and that is a sentence that should never, ever exist. I do not recommend this. I do not encourage this, and I will never be doing this again. But now I can officially say that I kept bedbugs as pets, and I let them drink my blood. So please, for the love of all that is good, just subscribe.